Hey, everybody. Nicole Bascabay here, checking back in. And tonight we are going to talk about questions to ask your wedding florist. Some of these are questions that maybe we're going to be asking before we decide who we're booking with, and some of them are questions that we're going to ask after we've booked the florist. But these are really, really important to do. As a female, as a girl, we all know what it was like planning our wedding, right? We walked around with dandelions and buttercups and we made our bouquet. And the floral part, the decor is the funnest part, in my opinion. And that's where you get to be creative and express yourself the most and really just go above and beyond and show your personality. So it's really important that you're asking the right questions to your florist so that you know what to expect, you know what fits in your budget, and you know that everything is going to come out as the vision that you had. So tonight I'm just going to give you 5 questions that you want to make sure you write down on paper and you ask your florist going in. So first things first, this is probably the most important in my opinion. What flowers are in my color palette that are in season during my wedding? Oftentimes we as brides, I see this all the time with brides, even when I was a bride myself, we have this vision of the colors and the textures and what we want, but we don't necessarily book our wedding in that same season where those flowers are available. And that doesn't mean that you can't get them. It just means sometimes if they're not available, they have to be flown in from all over the world, and they're crazy, crazy expensive. Sorry guys, my phone's going off. So that is going to jack up your budget a lot if you don't know. So your florist will be able to tell you what's in season, what's not, and what a good alternative would be as far as color and texture and things like that. So make sure that you ask your florist that. Secondly, where would you suggest I spend my floral budget to get the vision that I want? The reason that you want to ask this is because a lot of florists, especially florists that I work with, they have all kinds of things. They have candles and mirrors and arches and linens and runners and all of this stuff. And sometimes those things will actually contribute more or just as much to your vision as the flowers. And you want to make sure that you have a good idea of, or a good balance of decor and floral, actual flowers that will that can come together to make your vision. So ask your florist what they can do with your budget and where you should allocate those funds. Question number 3. Will you come down to break down at the end of the night, or is that my responsibility? You guys, this one is so important because you have to know who is breaking all that down, especially if you have a big ceremony set up with the arch and things like that. The venue is typically not going to just keep it up, and they're not going to allow you to keep it up. It's not their responsibility, it's yours. So you need to know if you're responsible for that, which means like the groomsmen are going to be responsible for it, or if the florist is going to come back at the end of the night and take that down. Next question is, can you show me an example of the style and vision we've discussed at different price points? The reason this is important is because just because something doesn't, you have an extravagant vision and not an extravagant budget to match it, that doesn't mean you can't still have that vision come to fruition, right? It just maybe means that the bouquets are a little smaller, or there's fewer candles and smaller arrangements on your as your centerpieces, or maybe we don't do one big arrangement, we do 2 or 3 smaller ones, but you're still going to have those colors and textures and things like that. So ask your florist what they can do and to show you the different price points. So that you know what to expect, but also this will give you a really good idea of their creativity and their skill level, and it'll show you that they really want to work with you if they're willing to go above and beyond and find something that will work with your budget and still your style. And then the last question, This is a big one too, you guys. What have you done at my venue that will work best for me? And a lot of times you may get a florist that has never been at your venue, and that's okay. That doesn't mean that you shouldn't hire them or they shouldn't be considered at all. It just means you definitely want to get them out there. Get them out there for a walkthrough. They typically should be happy to do that, to get familiar with the venue so they know what the ceremony site's going to look like. They know what the reception room looks like, the colors on the wall, the curtains, the flooring, if it's carpet, if it's hardwood, if it's outside. They know what that's going to look like. And if they've done something at your venue before, then ask them to show you what they've done. And they'll know what works best. They'll know, you know what, shepherd's hooks don't really go well in the ground here for X reason. You know, we've tried to do it before. They just don't go in the ground. They don't stay up, or whatever it may be. This is something that the florists know, or you want them to get familiar with, so that there are no surprises the day of. So those, you guys, are my top 5 questions that I strongly encourage you to ask your florist when you're going in. And when you get to the florist, make sure you already have your color scheme picked out so that it's easier for everybody and you can really talk about style and design versus trying to come up with a color scheme in that moment. Go in with your color scheme and a pretty decently well put together Pinterest board and show your florist, and then take it from there. And then after you've decided on the florist that you want to use and you've signed the contract and you're ready to move forward, make sure that you provide them a picture of your dress, like a picture of your dress, because it's really important for them to see the style of your dress and make sure that it matches the style of the flowers and what they're implementing, and also color swatches of the bridal bouquets and your linens so that they can match it accordingly and everything just has that cohesive look. So I hope that you guys have found this helpful. If you have, please feel free to share or leave a comment below. And if there's something that you would like to hear more of, let me know and I will be sure to make it happen. Have a great night, guys. Bye.